Welcome on Take It Easy sewing tutorial. You might be wondering what the heck am I doing, right? Well, so am I. So when we got cleared into Indonesia, we removed the Q flag and hosted our flags, but one night of a strong wind later, we had to take that down for some repairs. Took me a while, but I'm finally getting around to do that, so they'll be ready to go back up in a minute, thanks to my little sewing machine. After that, I promise we're going to do something a bit more fun, because apparently we are going to our favorite dive site here. So hop on board.
I'll be moving along, singing my song, running around, ain't nothing wrong. The live long day. I said, the live long day.
Okay, new mission. We are putting up the flags. First flag is obviously the Indonesian one. That's called courtesy flag. You have to flag the flag of the country you are traveling in. And this one needs to be close to the mast and the highest one. And then second flag will go at the back of the boat and a bit lower, and it will be the French flag to represent us. We should also have a UK flag because the boat is registered in the UK, but I can't find it, and we're not British, so who cares? So yeah, first one, this one.
Alright, so the first one is done.
First one done. On to the second one. French. So yeah, all good. That's done. Now people can know where we are from.
Yep,
Excited.
that's good.
Flag etiquette is quite a complex topic. There are 4 different placements for the flags. On top of the mast, on the starboard or the port spreaders, and at the stern of the boat. The tricky part is that you must fly the national maritime flag, which is sometimes different from the country one, which is a land flag. The first one to be hosted is the ensign, which is the flag showing the country of registry of the vessel. It is flown at the stern of the boat, and it should be larger than any other flag. The second flag is the burgie, which shows the yacht club you belong to. This one is flown on top of the mast, but nowadays mostly on the port spreader. Then comes the courtesy flag, showing the country you are visiting as a sign of respect. It is flown on the starboard spreader. The port spreader is reserved for house flags, which can include, for example, flags showing nationalities of all crew members. The size of the flag also matters, and this is where it gets quite complex. The length of your registry flag should be 1 inch for every foot of overall length of the boat. The burgie, courtesy flag and private flags should be half an inch for every foot. So what does it mean for us? We should fly a UK maritime flag at the stern, 38 inches or 96 centimeters in length. Then we should have a 19 inches or 48 centimeters long Indonesian flag on the starboard spreader and a French flag of the same size on the port spreader. In practice, we decided not to fly the ensign and use a French flag in its place, although keeping the size of a private flag, as we feel it's more important to signal to people that we are French. Make sense?
We're gonna go in one of the best dives in Raja Ampat. Supposed to be very fishy. Hopefully, we see a lot of fish. It's one of the best dives in the world actually. The water looks amazing, there's not a lot of wind, there's a lot of current, so that's good for the fish.
We've done that dive in 2017 and we were keen to go back, but we didn't really want it to tell the dive center, oh, we really want to go there, because we wanted them to tell us we can go to make sure the conditions were okay. And yeah, yesterday they sent us a text saying like, oh, tomorrow the dive site, Cape Cree and another one, and we're like, oh yes.
Yeah, so now here we go in the tender, because we have a long journey to get to them. It's like 2 nautical miles or a bit more. There's a little bit of swell, so it's not gonna be an easy one, but it's gonna be worth it for sure, because that's gonna be a very cool dive.
It's difficult to describe what a nice dive looks like, probably because it looks different for every diver. When we first started diving, it would have required seeing a big animal like a shark or a turtle or a beautiful manta, of course. With more experience, we're happy with different types of things, like for example, beautiful coral reef, macro animals like nudibranchs or seahorse, sharks that we're not used to encountering, and obviously the list goes on. In this dive today, it feels like we got a bit of everything. We started with some wobbegong sharks, which we are not used to encountering, and we saw so many reef fish. I don't remember seeing that many different species in one spot. Then we saw a couple of nudibranchs, and the reef was so healthy and beautiful. It really makes this dive spot incredible. Now we are soon going to leave this anchorage to go to our next spot, but before we do that, there's one last dive that we would like to do. It's called Batu Lima, and I think this one we should be able to do it on our own.
So, getting ready for a dive?
Yeah, trying to, but it is so warm. Like but
All sweaty.
yeah, I'm trying to, but it is so warm. I'm all so sweaty, and my feet are hurting, and yeah, it's not perfect, but whatever.
Think about when we are going to be in the water.
Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking.
Focus on this.
Yeah, can't wait.
Getting ready to go for a dive. This time we are actually going on our own. We're going to a dive site called Batu Lima. So it's not too far from a resort, so we've asked permission before and they said like, you know, it's a free space, you can go by yourself and dive if you want to. Getting everything ready, it's a bit nerve-wracking to do a dive on our own, so we did one already in Balbulol, but it was kind of inside, so not too exposed to current and that sort of things. I don't know how it's going to be over there. It should be okay. It's not too hard of a dive because you're diving from an island, but yeah, I guess we'll have to see. Our friends are actually coming with and they're going to be snorkeling because there's also stuff to see between 5 and 10 meters. So yeah, excited. It's supposed to be a very good one in Raja Ampat. So yeah, can't wait. Let's go. The instructions for this dive site are quite easy. The site is called Batu Lima, which translates to 5 rocks. The coordinates send us to this location and we need to descend on the northeastern side. It is often rated amongst the top 5 sites in Raja Ampat, and we read about reef walls covered in corals.
Let's jump.
Yet, not really what we experienced. There was next to nothing to see, mostly sand and the occasional group of fish. It got a bit better when we resurfaced on the southern side of the rock, but still pretty far from a dive site. Either we misunderstood the instructions or something happened here. Either way, a bit of a fail for us. But it is the reality of diving on your own. You'd think it's all about having the equipment and the compressor on board, but there is so much more to it than that. Without the local knowledge of where exactly is a dive site and the best time to dive it is difficult. Not to mention the sites that are not doable on our own because of the current, for example, or not accessible in a simple dinghy ride. So the reality is that on our own, we get more mediocre dives than good ones. But the good ones makes it all worth it. Not this one though. Let's move on to our next stop, shall we? We came back on the boat, got a very quick rinse, and we're on the move. We're going to the next anchorage, which is called Yanggello. Quite excited, but also it is so hot. Like, so hot, I can't even tell you. That's why my hair is not dry, but I'm wearing it up because I was just burning my neck and everything. But it looks like there's some clouds coming with some rain, so I don't know, rain is annoying, but right now I feel like rain is refreshing, so it's welcome a little bit. We have 17 nautical miles to do. It should take us between like around 3 hours, I would say. There is no wind at all, like 5 knots of wind, so it's definitely not enough for us to sail. Hopefully once we get there we'll get a quiet evening and then tomorrow we can go in the water. There's a distance of about 17 nautical miles, and luckily, with a bit of wind, we were able to sail that in just under 3 hours.
For this anchorage, we can either tie aft line from the pontoon and stern line to the mangrove, or anchor in the front and tie the stern to the mangrove. We chose this latter option, but each have their drawbacks. Tying both sides means you have to untie every time a boat wants to go to the other side of the bay. Dropping the anchor is not that easy here because the holding isn't great. But our anchor with this big chain is hard to move, so holding is less of an issue for us. Look at this guy. He's trying to tie up the back of our boat to the mangrove.
A bit more chain and reverse a bit more.
It's not so easy to access the mangrove because the reef is really not that deep. Plus, we have to make sure we select a spot that is accessible at both high and low tide in case we leave on a different tide. But overall, it's not that difficult. The water is very calm here, so the boat isn't moving much while we do this operation. And once tied up, we can start enjoying this little paradise. I can't wait to see what's out there. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe and like, and we'll see you next time. Bye!